Hi, welcome to Miss Amy's Creations. As you can tell, it's fall. Pumpkins are out. What I'm going to show you today is how to make your own pumpkin puree for pies and such for the holidays. Please, before I get started, subscribe, like, hit the notifications, and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so what we're going to do, we started with cutting the pumpkin in half. And I'm going to scrape all of, just like if you're going to carve it, you want to scrape all these seeds and the little gooeys out of it. I don't know what else you call them. I guess I'm just being silly. But what I also did is I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees. I'm going to get all of this out of here. This is a very hard pumpkin, which is good. I guess that's what you want when you buy a pumpkin, huh? And then we're going to just lay this in a baking pan with a nice high side in it. This way, when the juices come out, they won't get all over your oven. Oh. So, it being fall, I usually do orders for pumpkin rolls at this time of year, so everybody can get them for Thanksgiving. But I'll make them any time of the year, really. I know a lot of people just wait for the holidays to do pumpkin pies and anything pumpkin spice, but you don't have to. Let's see if I can pull these strings out better. And there's Mr. Thor waiting for things to drop, but he's not eating pumpkin seeds. Maybe if I roasted them, he might think better of it, but everything's so slipped through. Okay, like I said, you want to get this the best you can. Make sure all the seeds are out. This stringy, it will just cook down and you'll be able to get it right out of there. So, get these last couple seeds, which is another thing that is wonderful to do, is roast the seeds in the oven with a little seasoned salt, garlic powder, onion powder, any kind of seasoning that you really like. Soak these in salt water before you put them in the oven and toast them up. They're delicious. Okay, we've got our pumpkins cut in half, cleaned. Now, people do these different ways. You can have them face down this way, or you can leave them turned up. They will take approximately 45 minutes in the oven at 350 to cook. What you're going to want to do is take a knife and test them to make sure they're done enough, because you want to be able to puree that meat up once they're baked. Now, my husband gave me a wonderful idea, and we try to do this with pretty much everything I can. We are saving some of the seeds to dry them out and be able to plant them next year. So I don't have to pay outlandish prices at the store for pumpkin. So it'd be great to be able to produce our own pumpkins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in the oven. Like I said, it's at 350 degrees. And I'm going to put them both in. And I'm going to start my timer for about 40 minutes. See how that goes. And then we will come back to them in that 45 minutes and test them. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. I'm going to pull the pumpkins out of the oven. They're starting to turn kind of a toasty brown on the top. Now this one's a little uneven, so we'll double check and make sure that one's done. Yeah, it's a little firm, but now what I'm going to do from here, as you can see, the knife goes in pretty easily. I am going to let these cool a little while, and then what you'll want to do is to peel the outer skin off. You can also turn these over and just kind of scoop the pumpkin out of the skins. Let's see if we can turn one over and show you how they are here. And see, this will just, that's one of them toasty strings now. This will just come right out of it. But it's much easier to work with it once it cools. So we're going to let this cool, and we'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, here you go. Here's my 2 pumpkins, all cleaned and in a bowl. Now, the only other thing you have to do with this is to make it a puree. And you can do that in a food processor, a mixer, a blender, however you have that will work. Now, if you do this in the blender, you may have to add just a tiny bit of water to it to get it to puree nicely. But that is doing your own homemade pumpkin. You can then you can can it, but you can also measure it out for whatever you're making, pies, pumpkin rolls, and freeze it in Ziplocs. So, again, thank you for coming. Please subscribe, like, hit the notifications, and leave me a comment.
So, Big Mature's 6, he's going to be one of my top.
Okay, this is all pureed.
He's just a big
I'll give you a good look at this.
We've had 3 years of history with.
I did have to add some liquid to the blender to get this one to blend. But if you happen to do your pumpkin and it's very liquidy, you can also drain it through a cheesecloth to get it thickened up. I didn't have to do that this time. I had to actually get it a little bit of water.
This big wide
So,
beam,
enjoy
8.8 is gonna
making
be the replacement
pumpkin.
For now, we call them dozer.